Congratulations on your 7th album with Epica. That's awesome.
Thank you.
How do you feel that you have changed or improved over the last 14 years that you've been in this band?
I guess we've evolved and changed and improved as part of evolution, I guess. 14 years have passed, 7 CDs, traveling around the world, always trying to improve ourselves, reinvent ourselves wherever needed without drastically changing our style.
I understand that you're a mom now.
Yes.
One kid, 2 kids? One?
One.
How would you describe that being a mom has changed the way that you interact with music and your ability to tour?
Interaction with music is has unchanged.
Okay.
Touring totally changed because you have to plan everything really carefully. That there's enough family time in between touring as well, because it's challenging.
I took the time to watch the 3 studio clips that you put online, which were really informative and really great, so I applaud you for putting them out there. And in watching them, I got a few questions that I want to hit you with from them. I liked how Epica was described in those clips as a band that used to be symphonic with metal elements and is now more of a metal band with symphonic elements. Do you feel that that's an accurate representation of where Epica is right now?
I think with the arrival of the other 3 band members that are with us for quite a long time, I'm talking about our drummer, Arjen, our guitarist, Isaac, and our bass player, Rob, they've been contributing to the songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And Arjen and Isaac come from a band called God Dethroned, and that's really heavy, so you hear their influences. And in true essence, Epica is a metal band, and the orchestration for me is as important as the metal aspect. Some band members have a different opinion on that. That's six people with 6 opinions together, but I think that now the guitar riffs are way more prominent, but a thing that I've always loved about Epica is the orchestration, so I'm very happy that that's kind of, at the same spot.
Okay. So would you say that that was a natural progression then? That was something that was cognizant, or is that just where Epica has gone with the change in musicians that have joined over the past few years?
Combination of both, I guess, just a natural development of having all 5 guys writing songs. They all come from different corners within the metal scene, have different musical preferences, and if a song is good, it's good. We won't release a rap metal album or something like that, but if it fits within Epica, then it's great. And we also have our producer Joost, who tries to keep everything under one hood, we say, to really morph the songs into the Epica sound if they deviate too much. But all 27 songs we had for this record got a fair chance at demo sessions, and out of those we picked 18 songs.
You had good things to say about Joost on some of the clips that were put online. What would you say is the element that he brings to Epica and how he pulls music out of you?
He's a professional. He's really good at what he does. He works hard. He keeps everything structured and organized, whereas some musicians are completely chaotic people like myself. And he's very patient. He never loses his cool, even when things get stressful. And it was a pleasure working with him.
I liked seeing the footage of all of the guys doing the percussion bits, and shaking marachas and playing the triangle and just adding in bits and pieces that I assume would be sampled into some of the music. Is that something that was new to this album, including everybody in that fashion?
We had the instruments and we had the connections because our drum technician, he works at a music shop. Okay. So we had access to all the things you can basically hit on. And they organized this percussion party where everybody who was around could join. So Isaac, Koen and Arjen were banging on everything. Joost as well, the owner of the studio, and Igor. So it was one big party, and you can definitely hear it in songs like Dancing in a Hurricane. It's very obvious. It sounds like live instruments instead of samples.
Right. It was nice seeing the choir brought in that filled in some of the songs on this album. And it feels to me like every album that Epica puts out, the choir seems to become a bigger piece and include more people. That must be exciting for you to have that kind of musicality at your access album by album.
The choirs have been a little bit like seventh band member for us from day one, and they back me up during choruses. They're always like really excelling in the intros and the long songs, and it's part of the orchestral sound from Epica, the choirs. I could not think of an Epica song without choirs.
I liked how the writing process was described, in that you were singing not really the words for the songs, but just kind of grunting or moaning or putting in words that weren't really going to be the lyrics for some of the songs until you actually formulated what they were going to be and wrote them. Is that how you've written with Epica for the past 6-7 albums?
Well, vocal lines come first, melodies most important, and after that the lyrics come. And sometimes when Mark and I the other band members are writing vocal lines, they put it in like via a flute sample. So I can start forming words and lyrics based on that, and I get versions of the demo tracks without the vocal flute, so to speak, and I'll start writing my own lyrics. But then when we sit together with the producer Joost and also with Sasha Pet and we come up with different vocal lines, then those lyrics just don't mean anything anymore. But in order to make them flow, we come up with those silly lyrics to just carry the melody, because when you write lyrics, what's always very important is to keep the sounds open, so a lot of vowels, and try to keep the consonants as minimal as possible, because they can sometimes close up the flow of the melody.
Do you ever find you mix them up? Like some of those old lyrics that you were just sort of filling in with,
Yes.
do they ever come back?
Yeah, actually in the beginning now, when we're starting off the tour, I sometimes like, what was the lyric? I keep on hearing this, we call them bullshit lyrics.
Right.
Keep on hearing them, they're so stuck into your system. But we have a couple of rounds of demo sessions, and after we finalize the lyrics as much as possible, we re-record the vocal lines with the new lyrics in order for them to get into our system.
I think the third studio clip shows you in the studio, and you can hear some of the music sort of half filled in. You can hear it full on, where you're mixing in with the full orchestrated songs that have been put together, and then they just turn it off, and you can hear you singing without any of that. And I found that really interesting, because your voice sounds very different just in a room all on its own, and it does mixed in with the music.
Yeah, it's done completely dry, naked, as a baby's bottom, I would say, but it's all layer on layer on layer on layer, and of course a couple of effects on top of it.
Right.
When I first heard my voice dry after recording, like without any effects, I was like, this is not how my voice sounds, because when I hear it myself, it's different, because it's going internally through the, through the bones.
Right.
The sound is carried, and I perceive my voice different as when it's recorded. But another thing we always do, or we actually did with the Quantum Enigma, we tested out a couple of mics to see which one would capture the characteristics of my voice the best, and we used that mic setup for these recordings as well.
Okay.
Don't ask me which ones. Don't get technical on me.
The holographic principle charted well all over the world. That must be pretty warm for you guys.
Yeah, it's very rewarding, because you're stuck in this writing, recording phase, and you love and hate the record, and you have no clue if people are going to like it or not. And then those numbers are kind of reassuring, as well as when fans write to you, they love the record, and there's just been an overwhelming positive response from the fans, and that's what we were aiming for. First of all, that we like the CD ourselves. But as I said before, when you're so into the music, you have a love-hate relationship with them. You have to let go and then appreciate it again, because you can't hear them anymore. You've been listening to every little detail in the mixing and mastering process to see if everything was as we had it in our minds. But the charts are booming, best we've ever had.
Now, if money was no object, what do you think might serve this album the best? A high-concept movie with all of the themes that you've put into the songs that are on the album? Or like a virtual reality 3D video game where you can really sort of bring to life a lot of your themes and concepts and sort of have them realized in that environment?
Yeah, you said it already. I think the second option, I think with each song to create a mini movie and you can watch it through one of those Oculus Rifts or whatever other brands out there.
Awesome. You spent some time individually answering questions from fans on Facebook, I think at the end of September. Did you find you got some interesting stuff from some of the people that are really into your music asked you?
Yeah, the typical questions and the sometimes vulgar questions, marriage proposals came by, and it was fun because it was a live interaction and fans were responding to what you were saying. And it was fun because my mom kept on coming in. I was at my parents' house in my old room and she kept on coming in and fans were like, yeah, show us your mom. And I showed her a cookie and she's like, no. So it was a very sincere, naked interview, I guess.
Awesome. I'm just going to grab